Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Hopefully Tuesday treated you well. And adjust this camera a little bit. Everybody doing good? Good. I'm Scott Gaines, 97.9 KGNC. You're in the live lounge. We do this every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. This has always been a lot of fun. I love visiting with artists. This is probably one of my favorite parts of my job. I've been doing this a really long time, and getting to do this with artists has been fun. And I got a chance to meet Mo Pitney years ago, and he is a talented dude. He's probably running on steam because he just had his wife just had a brand new baby. They had a brand new baby girl. So we're going to talk about that brand new baby girl. We're going to talk about he's got new music coming out, got a brand new album coming out in a couple weeks, and we're going to hit all the high points and try to keep him up for the next 30 minutes so he doesn't fall asleep. So there's a good chance we have to keep him awake, but we're going to do that right now. So hopefully we don't lose him. We'll keep him awake between now and then. Mo Pitney joining us live from Nashville. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to see you again, man. Congratulations on that baby. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. Obviously, our second baby, and our other one is 3.5 years old. So we're working through all of the wonderful happenings of bringing a brand new baby home and how the other little one adjusts to that. And then on top of that, like you said, a little bit of sleeplessness, but she's been a pretty good baby overall. We're very thankful for her. Her name is Audra.
That is incredible. Well, man, what's been going on in the world of Mo Pitney as of lately?
Well, since we've talked last, a lot of things have happened. We've obviously had a baby. We built a house. We built our first house in Nashville, close to Nashville, northwest of Nashville a little bit, and simultaneously was making a record. So we just finished the record, and it's set to be released very, very soon, and on the 14th, I believe. And it's just been a lot going on, but a lot of good things that we're really thankful for. Thankful that they're rolling.
So what's been happening with you in quarantine? So you probably had this, you get to spend a lot of time at home now, and you gotta get to spend some time. What have you been doing with your quarantine downtime?
Well, it hit at a good time for us because we were actually just finishing up our house when COVID happened, and I had all the materials sitting there ready to be put on or in the house in some way, shape, or form. And I was actually fearful because I thought we were running out of time. But when COVID hit, everything shut down. We couldn't do anything, and we pretty much just finished all our little projects that we needed. And then the back half of it all, prior to waiting for the album to be released, we found a good, month of rest, 3 weeks at least of rest, which was really good before the baby came. And we just kind of practiced just being and not doing.
So did you do a lot of the things to your house, or did you have it done? Because I don't have that gene. I don't have that ability to do those kind of things. So I'm jealous when another guy can do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I had that gene or not, but I attempted to do most all the work myself. We hired someone to put up a pole barn. It's a pole barn house, what people are calling a barndominium now. So I hired a barn company to do that, and I did probably 80% of all of the work on the inside of the house, framing the walls, a lot of the wiring, did all the plumbing, and just installed the kitchen cabinets and tiled the shower and all that. My wife's helped me do, and we grew closer together through the whole thing, and
wow,
enjoyed it. So we
okay. I'm officially jealous because I cannot do that. So I'm gonna have to live vicariously through you. So give me a little bit of background on this new record. What you got going? What's the fans get to look forward to?
Well, the record is it's kind of a sneak peek into all chapters of my life from the perspective of where I'm at now. And there's some weightier things on the album that talk about kind of turning over a new leaf and being able to leave the past be the past and and move on and move forward with the title track of the album called Ain't Looking Back. And there's some things on it. There's a song called Looks Like Rain that you can expect. It's a little bit about depression and going through that. But then on the flip side, there's a lot of good upbeat things that frame in a good light my life. With my wife Emily and little ones, our new single called "Ain't Bad for a Good Old Boy" is that, and the list goes on. There's a couple fun stories on the album, but I hope that they all make one complete, coherent thought when you listen through to it.
I'm sure. Now, the one memory I do have is when you did radio tour a few years ago. I remember you are the only radio tour I've ever sat in with an artist that I openly cried during your, and not because you were horrible, it's because of the song you sang. And I think you know where I'm going with this. You have a song called "Just a Dog."
Yeah.
Now, somewhere in the sneak in of this, I want you to play it. And I want you to play the single. I want you to play what you want to play. But somewhere in there, before we get out of this little lounge, I want our listeners to hear that song, because if you are a pet owner, a dog owner of any sort, this is a song that you had the whole room. That's the only reason I remember this is you had the whole room bawling, and we're like going, I don't even care. I don't even care. Pass me the, I don't even care. It was so great. And that song especially. And I remember you telling the story behind it, but I would love for you to do that song if you have the time.
Yeah, I would love to. Maybe we'll do 2 songs. Maybe I'll play the single and then I'll play that song so people can hear it.
Absolutely. I would love for you to do that. Let's get into the single. Tell me how this got life.
So Phil O'Donnell brought me this idea while we were finishing up building our place, and it just matched perfectly with our life and the life that we wanted to kind of see live through on our small piece of land. Through the COVID thing, we didn't know it was going to be our first single until some radio stations looked in at it and said, you know what, this is perfect for a time of COVID because it's a song celebrating home life. And since we're all sitting trapped at our homes, we got to figure out some way to celebrate this. And the fun part about it is that it's a really country way to look at it. Obviously, Ain't Bad for a Good Old Boy. It's this guy, it was me, who moved to Nashville never dreaming that he could stumble into such a beautiful life. And essentially that's the idea behind the song, and I can sing it with confidence because I live it every day. So
cool. Well, let's give everybody a great old taste of that good old Mo Pitney style with this new single. It's called "Ain't Bad for a Good Old Boy."
All righty. Trust fund. As far as money goes, I ain't got none. But I trade my time in the hot sun for enough to get me by. I pick up old and rusty. She rattles and stays dusty. But when Emily's here beside me, it shines, shines, shines. We got a roof to keep the rain on. The mailbox to write her name on. With a little bird dog on the front porch, garden that spring, baking in the pancakes on the grill, hand in hand right down the middle. Life with a girl in love, that's a real boy. Ain't bad for a good old boy. She's racing rolling blue jeans with a face made for the movie. Yeah, she beats all my dreams every time she wakes me up. She's got a way of making something out of a whole lot of nothing. The honey in her loving is like money in my cup. We got a roof to keep the rain A 10-acre lot with a little bird dog on the front porch, guarding that screen door, making it the pancakes on the griddle, hand in hand right down the middle, life with a girl in the love that's a real boy. Ain't bad for a good old boy. We got a roof, keep the rain on. Little box right and long. 10-acre lot with a little bird dog on the front porch. Bacon and the pancakes on the griddle, and right down the middle line with a girl in love that's a real boy. Ain't that for a good old boy? It ain't bad for a good old boy. All righty.
Yeah. Look at you. Cool. So, Mo, what's your take on all this social media craze?
My take on the what now?
Social media. What do you think about all this? Did you think that 5 years ago you and I would be sitting here talking like this? I mean, this is kind of a new breed of what we've have to get used to, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely something to get used to. I think that it has very, very positive things that can come of working this way over the phone. But there's also some negative things too. I mean, I don't want to ever lose the beauty and the art of good conversation over a dinner table and giving somebody a hug and all of that, and standing on a stage and seeing people face to face and really moving with them, an entire audience, trying to read the crowd and what they want, what they need in that moment, and all that stuff that makes us feel human. I don't want to ever lose that through social media and keyboards and video screens. I want to be very transparent and real with the world in real time. But with that being said, there's a lot of really good things. Like I'm going to do a radio tour, I guess you can call it, just like this, with a good camera, good mic, and play some music, catch up, and then I get to go home to see my family at night, which is a big positive, especially with having a brand new baby at home. So with all that being said, I mean, there's pros and cons. I think that I hope moving forward we can do it all in a balance and not let the whole table shift one way where this is the only way that we interact for the rest of our existence. But I'm thankful for it, and I'm looking for it to also be mediated a little bit too. So.
Yeah, it is a different way of communicating. Like I said, I hope it doesn't stay this way. I do like the personal interaction. I like being able to go watch when you guys come to town and watch you play. The live music thing, which I'm sure you're missing as well, is a connection that your fans miss. We in the radio side of it, I miss just getting to see you guys working magic on a stage, because I mean that's the reason you got into it. That's the reason why I got into it, because I love to watch you guys do what you do best, and I'm sure you're missing that part too.
Of course. Yeah, and I feel it from the stage aspect, and I know that there's an audience that feels it from that side too. So I'm sure that people will hunger and thirst for it enough to where we're going to get it back, and I really hope that's true. I hope we're not dead set on tearing down the world with everything that's gone on. I hope we can manage to work together to put things back together in a good and upbuilding way. That's what I'm praying for. So.
I've got my midday guy who jumped on here, was going to ask you a question. Can you see that there on your screen?
Okay, see the question. Let me see. I got to get close. How cool was it to have a song on the ranch? Oh, okay. So it came through Curve. It was cool. So we had the song that I just played you ended up showing on the Netflix original called The Ranch.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. It came before the album came out. It actually came before the song was mastered. So I'll say secretly, if you hear the song on The Ranch, it's a plug-in master, because they called and wanted some songs. We played on that song and they loved it. They said, we got to have it tomorrow. We didn't have enough time to master it, so we used the mastering plug-in and sent it over. So it's actually technically a different version than what you'll hear when you download the album. The album has an even better version, but it was just right overnight. We needed to send it to them, and obviously we said yes, because that was an honor to have a song, played anywhere, and let alone a new craze of a Netflix original. So it was amazing. I'm honored to be a part of it. And I hope the song fit well, and it seemed like it did. It played on the jukebox while they were in the bar, and that was kind of cool. So
That had to have been pretty neat to be able to, you're sitting there and also like, that's my song. I mean, you're like, okay, that was mine, and now I'm hearing it, and millions of people are hearing my song.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real part about the music business in general, whether it's on Netflix or on the radio. You never dreamed growing up. Some of us play music our whole lives because we couldn't escape it, and that was that for me. I mean, I just played music as a little kid on the edge of my bed because I wanted to impress my dad, and to look back over how God's taken that to Nashville, and then the hub that delivers music to the rest of the world for everyone else to see. And then I'm sitting, eating popcorn on my couch, and whether it's on the radio or on Netflix, just hundreds and hundreds of people get to hear this art that's just an outpouring of your heart. It's a very humbling experience.
So, do you think do you reveal everything about you on the inside with your music? Do you think,
whether it's through my music, or through interviews or from the stage, I think truth resonates. And when I mean truth, there's like two aspects of truth. There's truth, meaning I believe that there's a person that came to this earth that lived perfectly, and the way he acted in every word that left his mouth was the truth. But then there's also another truth, that through our struggles and our inability to be perfect, we can be honest and be true about where we're at. And I want my music to point to both truths. I want it to point to the ultimate truth, and then I want it to point to like our imperfect way of wanting to get to that truth. And so that's where the songs about depression, or the song Ain't Looking Back, or any of those things are. And I hope that I can live a life on and off stage that's the same as I would if you came over for dinner, or chatter on the front porch or whatever. I want to be a different person on stage or on social media than I am in everyday life. So I try to be as transparent as possible with my music and with everything that I say.
You mentioned the song about depression. And surprisingly enough, we live in a society where a lot of people deal with that on a daily basis, and they have to do form and function with that. And maybe is there a story there? I'm trying not to dig personal, but is there a story there that made you lean in that direction, hopefully that you could reach a fan that may be feeling the exact same way as either you or your songwriters were for that particular reason?
Yeah, so I mean, the reason why I recorded the song, I'll just say, the song is called "Looks Like Rain," and it's about, you can have everything in the world going right. You can see that some of the richest people in the world struggle with unhappiness and dark depression. So you know that it's not based on your circumstances or what you have or anything like that. It's honestly normally based on love and how much you can accept other people's love for you, or God's love, honestly. But some days that faith is broken, and the depression is real. No matter if the sun's shining, the birds are singing, everything around you is going great internally, something can be shattered in there, and everything looks gray, no matter how bright everything actually is. And a lot of us experience that a lot of parts of our lives, I think. And I wanted to record the song just ultimately to tell people that in that place, you're not alone. And that I've been there. And then hopefully, through listening to all of the music, everything that I've put out as far as interviews and magazine articles or whatever that is, that they'll hear my path out of it. Not that path has been a perfect path. It's kind of a 1 step forward, 2 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, that kind of a thing. But I feel myself coming out of a dark night of the soul that really was difficult. And I know other people have experienced kind of the depths of depression in that way.
Well, I will
now
tell you this.
We're locking up in our basements kind of a thing, so.
I will tell you this, you're not alone. You're sharing camera time with somebody who experienced the exact same things. I will tell you that David Nail is a guy who was very vocal about his depression as well. And I admire you for just showing people that, a lot of folks think that they got to hide that, and it's a sign of weakness. It's a sign, and people don't realize that when you're able to step forward and say, hey, I need some help. I need some balance. I need someone to, guide me. Tell me it's going to be okay. There are days when you just don't feel right. And I understand everything that you were talking about. And that song.
Let me say this really quick, just because you talked about hiding and this idea that it's a form of weakness. I think that's directly associated to shame, and we see it for the first time in the Garden of Eden. When they felt shame, they hid behind a bush.
Right.
And the enemy convinced them to stay there, just stay hiding. And ultimately, if we believe that voice of stay hiding, don't be honest, don't show the weakness, stay behind the bush, then I don't think there's any victory. But if by any means possible, by faith, we can hear the God that created us saying, where are you, Adam? Just like he did to the first two in the garden. He called them out from behind the bush into the light, which was the truth. And I think the human experience, and I relate it to the gospel, is God's invitation of calling humankind out into the light or out from behind the bush. I think that there's a way out that we're not being told in mainstream ways every day, and maybe the antidotes that we're having right now are keeping us behind the bush, and I know that's been my experience, but I think more people being honest might cause other people to be more honest with themselves, and by some chance find their way out from behind the bush. We'll say that.
I could not agree with you further. I think that is great, but the strength of you showing that, being able to put that into music so people can know, hey, listen, you're not the only one. You are one of a cast of millions that have been in that exact same boat. And it's nice to see that somebody's stepping up and showing strength and putting that to music, because that's very important. And music reaches people when words sometimes don't. And that's cool that you were able to do that.
Well, thank you for asking those questions. Just so you know, like I said, I try not to hide, but I can dive off the deep end with some of the things that I say sometimes. But I appreciate people that ask questions that lend themselves to that. I think we're in a culture now that's desperate for truth and desperate to be honest. So I think asking the right questions bring us there.
You're right. Because there's more people that actually that have depression in their world, and then most of the time they don't even realize it. And it's just a sequence of events that people sometimes aren't strong enough to come forward on, come to. But man, the fact that you can do this, and the fact that you have got a song, which I think people need to search that out. If that's something that you're going through or you're feeling, search the song out, because that is definitely sounds like the keys to start finding that the truth in yourself. So.
Yeah, and if you would, I mean, this isn't even a plug for my record. Even if you don't hear the whole album, I would encourage you. Like, we laid out the songs in a specific way for a reason, but I'd encourage you to, if you don't listen to the whole album, listen to "Looks Like Rain," "Ain't Looking Back," and then listen to the last song on the album called "Jonas." And the way that we laid out the album is those three songs are kind of these goalposts that take you through this journey back to restoration and truth, honestly. And it's in the midst of fun and upbeat and mid-tempo songs that are mixed in with the whole thing, just like life is. But the album is a hope to kind of, in some ways, lead people to the water. You're not alone. You know, I made it to this place where I'm not looking back anymore. I've been able to come out from behind the bush and look forward to a brighter future. And then the last song, Jonas, kind of gives you the hinge pin that all of that hinges on. So yeah, maybe just listen to those three, or listen to the whole album if you want to.
We'll listen to the whole album. That's what we want to do.
Okay album.
Yeah, let's get them listen to the whole album. I mean, it sounds like you've got a plan, and it sounds incredible. This new album will actually be out on August 14th, and it's called "Ain't Looking Back." And I am very excited about getting a chance to hear that. Our midday guy, Caleb. Well, we already put that. Oh, I thought that was a new question. Sorry, my apologies. But let's dig into the song that made me cry in front of a big group of people. That was
right.
And everybody made fun of me. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, but what people didn't realize, when you had come to do the radio tour, I had actually lost one of my dogs about 2 weeks before you came there. And that, I think that was one of those things where I was going through a funk. I was going through a depression, because that was, like with my wife and I didn't have any children at that time, and we were trying to have a baby. We've been trying to have a baby for 16 years at that, soon. And we got dogs to kind of fill that replacement. And so when you lose a dog, we had that same, love for this animal. When you came through, literally, I lost a puppy about 2 weeks before, and it just, it pulled my insides out. But yeah, it was a song that had stuck with me from the time I heard it. So yeah, it was an amazing. Oh, maybe here's a name here. It just popped up that you might recognize.
Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah. He says you have an excellent project coming. So if Mikey gives his seal of approval, then it's got to be good stuff.
Well, I'm proud of it then. If he says it's good, then I'm proud to be a part of it.
And he said the most excellent project is what he said. Here, I'll show you what he wrote. He says it's a most excellent project.
Wow, great.
So there you go. The boss man says it's good stuff, so that's what it's got to be. Well, I will say this, if you don't mind, and if you got some time, I'd love to have you play another, but I definitely want you to play Just a Dog, because I want everybody else to see what I experienced. I can't guarantee I won't cry either.
Yeah, well, I'll play it for you.
I appreciate it. Everybody, Mo Pitney. This is Just a Dog.
10 years ago, I was on my way home, saw her walking on the side of the highway home. It was raining like hell, and I kept telling myself, not my problem, keep on driving just like everybody else. Why should I be the one pulling over on the shoulder right now? It's just a dog ride from the cab of my truck to the foot of my bed. digging holes in the yard, chasing cars down the street. To one got her, when I found her, you'd have thought it hit me. It took half of my savings to save, and I didn't think twice. But it's just a dog, right? Just an old one, riding shotgun, getting my sleeves all muddy. Just the one who I come on to, just my best hunting buddy. We were walking that spring in sand on the beach. You know she was the reason, and he walked up to me. She lost her place on the couch. She kept her cool, but she was crazy about Amy, and she knew I was too. And the night that girl left me, she kept me from losing my mind. But it's just a dog, right? It's 83 degrees today, and then I can hardly wait to get this truck down to the lake. I bet the bass are hitting boats in my rearview mirror. Got my tackle box and all my gear. The wind is right, the sky is clear. There's just one thing to say. Just an old one, riding shotgun, getting my seats all muddy. It just hit me, she's not with me, like she was this past Sunday. Why am I pulling over on the shoulder with tears in my eyes? It's just a dog, right? She was just a dog, right?
I've heard that song probably 100 times, and it still makes the hair stand up on my arms. I love that. Yeah, I love when music does that. I love that though, man. Mo, you've definitely got a definite gift, and I'll credit definitely where credit is due. You've got a God-given gift, man, and I appreciate getting a chance to visit with you, and hopefully we can reach out and find some. Reach out to this old social media world and spread some good through this. But man, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day. I know you had a very busy last week or so with the new baby, and give my best to your wife and your older daughter. But man, enjoy the new baby. That in itself's a blessing, man. And I know you know that.
Thank you so much for saying all of that, and I do agree. All good gifts come from above, and we can't boast in any of them. I'm so glad to be able to share it. The music, the children, your baby sound like such a gift from above, and
absolutely
a lot to be thankful for. And there is a lot of good news. There is good news, and I'm glad for that too. So.
Oh, hold on. We have one more question. Caleb actually came with a good. We got one more question. Lean in there and see.
Are you? Oh yeah, still a fan. No doubt.
You can tell by the look on your face, like, oh yeah. I interrupted you. Say that one more time.
I get my hair done all the time.
Yeah, Caleb is the father of a 9-month, 10-month-old little girl. So he isn't going to experience that exact same thing as very, very soon. So you already know.
Yeah, and it is such a blessing too. That's a part of giving up your manhood that is just the right way, you know.
Absolutely.
Let's go have a tea party.
Absolutely. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting your nails done as long as it's being done by your 3-year-old daughter.
Yeah, amen.
All right. Mo, I appreciate you spending time with us, and thank you so much for doing that. It means a bunch, man. The album hits the stores, and it's going to be out on the 14th. And make sure you go pick it up. It's called Ain't Looking Back, and Mo Pitney spent some time with us tonight. Thank you so much, Mo. Have a great night.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Mo. Thanks. Man, that was a lot of fun. That was certainly a lot of fun. I'm so glad that you guys spent time with us. I love doing these. This is so much fun that we get to do these and get to dig in and find the strength in people, and finding out the joy of seeing people work their gift. And that's exactly what we saw, was a gift, man. Mo's got a definite gift, man. And that songwriting and being very vulnerable and opening up about the depression. But it sounds like, man, the music is where we all kind of find that peace, and it's neat to be able to experience that with somebody. Mo's album out on the 14th of this month. And if you get a chance, swing through and go get this. This will live, obviously, on our social media, and it will live on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you very much for being a part of it. And if you're catching this on the rebroadcast or you're getting to watch it again, thank you so much for doing so. And thank you so much for making 97.9 KGNC your station. And hopefully we get to do this again. In fact, we'll do it again next Tuesday night. We got another guest in the lounge, and it is, hold that thought, Jackson Mickelson. Jackson Mickelson will be in the lounge with us on next Tuesday night. So, oh, fantastic. Hold on just a second. Nice to see you show up, Zach Grantham, at the very end. Congratulations. Thanks for doing that. Since we're just getting ready to sign off, needed you earlier. I'll remember that when your paychecks come around. All right. Have yourself a great night, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you back here bright and early, Big D and Bubba, tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and texts on from 9 until 3. I am on 3 to 7, and that wonderful piece of human of Zach Grantham on from 7 to 11. So thanks for watching the broadcast, and we'll see you next week at 7 on 97.9 KGNC.